Hello, everyone. Um, so now it is 11:52 a.m. in the morning, and the perp next door just got done tapping and banging and harassing me. So in the middle of the night, I tried to go to sleep after the video. Like immediately after the video, they had that perp with that weaponized car that was waiting near my door. So the in-person perps, I think that they must line up with, they must contact the online perps and tell them, oh, Candy's staying at such and such a place. And so that's how the online perps be like, well, Candy is staying at such and such a place. And they will say, you know, oh, we've located Candy and she's staying at such and such a place, you know, and so it's like, that's, I mean, how the fuck can they just get away with this and it's not breaking the law? But they want me to be afraid of driving and having a car. Like as if I'm breaking the law for having keys to a car. Like I'm not supposed to do that, or I'm not supposed to be allowed to have that. But but I I mean, it's okay for everybody else to document and talk about their harassment, but when I do, you want to thumb me down for being quote unquote negative. Oh, that's not a positivity topic. Oh, that's something that's negative. So we're going to give that a thumbs down. So, I mean, as I said, I got not all of y'all, but I got so many fake ass YouTube subscribers that if you think I'm so negative, then why are you even subscribed? Because that's how I know y'all perps. So I got multitudes of fake asses that want to thumb down my videos because you feel like the topic is something that's a negativity. But other people who say that they're going through the targeting, oh, you give them thumbs up and say, oh, great footage. Oh, that's the best footage I've ever seen. But nobody gives me any credit for the best footage when I have a whole damn video of a perp following me with one headlight and right up on me. And I try to show professed targets to the so-called TI community. And you know, even the fakes, the popular fakes act like as if they want to struggle to be believed. Excuse me, but when people don't believe them, or if somebody say, oh, you fake or you a perp or whatever, they get mad too. But I mean, if they want to, that's how you know when somebody changed, when they want to say, they want to stop saying targeted individuals and stop saying gang stalking. And then they start acting like a perp and they get silent about their targeting, and they say, well, I don't want to use the terms targeted individuals and gang stalking anymore because those are the terms that the Freemasons made up. But you're working with them now. And you acting like controlled opposition and playing both sides. So and then they want to try to control and force you to stop using the words gang stalking and target individual. I mean, organized stalking is organized stalking. Group stalking is multiple people stalking you. So how are you going to say that those are the terms that Freemasons made up? Or I don't subscribe to being called a targeted individual. Oh, I call it persecuted individual. Well, why are you persecuting and targeting me and acting like a perp and like a narcissistic abuser and playing both sides? So when all you do is sit in your car or sit behind a desk and talk about the program in general and you don't even talk about your personal experiences. You just sit in the car and talk about the program in general, and then you be throwing up the satanic hand signs and have everybody deceived while falsely glorifying yourself as God's chosen elect and using New Age 777 or 1111. You use that New Age 1111 or 777, and or you associate. I mean, you intertwine witchcraft with biblical truth and expect people to not catch on. So but yeah, this perp, they made sure to put me right next to a perp then, because like after I had the episode, like after I did the previous big video, I had to record a perp being right outside my window, and then it had the most irritating fake engine with idling the vehicle. And that's why I say you got a rough, raggedy ass engine like that. It tortures my ears to no end. And then if I didn't put him on film, then he would have still sat there. So people want to say, "Oh, just ignore him." Like, you a sick creep by my window at almost 2:00 in the morning. Like, go the fuck to bed. Go to bed. Go home. Leave me the fuck alone. So the moment I put him on film, I couldn't even tell what vehicle it was, but they, hurry up and drove off. But I got footage of them driving fraudulently and illegally driving off. But they make me afraid that if I drive a car, then it's breaking the law, despite me having a valid driver's license with no restrictions. But for me to have access to driving a car is breaking the law, and I'll be the first to get pulled over. And they put all these harsh, hefty fees on me. And then don't want me driving or having a car, or even talking about driving or having a car. And if you don't want me driving, you a perp. I should have a right to drive a damn car. Oh, God doesn't want you driving. Nah, motherfucker, you a religious narc sellout, fake TI perp saying stuff like that. I mean, you don't tell me what to do with my work money if I had enough money from a job to, have a comfortable enough amount of money to get a car. I was hoping you would take that money and get you a permanent place. Excuse me. Well, they have professed targeted individuals been telling me since the beginning. Put up a GoFundMe or a fundraiser and live off of donations, and get you a van to live in and live off of donations. Excuse me. But I was never really able to accumulate enough money to be able to afford a used van to live in. But people profess to be targeted. They say that a TI should make the perps. I'm not skilled at how to do that, but they say, oh, well, keep moving around and be spontaneous and make their jobs harder. Well, I've tried that and they still get me. If I would make an unplanned trip to Winn-Dixie and Alex Dupree is there. In Pensacola, that happened. And then he was there before I got there. I'm like, well, how did you know I was going to make a last minute decision to walk into Winn-Dixie? The Winn-Dixie on Bayou Boulevard. Motherfucker, you don't even shop at Winn-Dixie. But I know you were there to stalk and me and try to traffic me. You know, so, but this is fucking exhausting that even like being sleep deprived in a hotel room, and I was so sleepy and tired last night, and maybe that perp sitting in the car, maybe they must have sat in the car shooting me with weapons. And that might have been set the stage of me being up all night and then feeling restless and couldn't sleep until after like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Then I finally fell asleep. And then, I think my sleep was spotty off and on until almost 11 o'clock. And so my legs hurt worse today than they did yesterday and the previous days. So, my legs hurt and they're sore. So, my legs are sore. So I couldn't even go out to run the errand that I needed to run today. My legs are so sore. And then, last night after I did the video, I had a nauseating headache and my head was hurting so bad I almost wanted to cry. I almost started to cry. Head hurts so bad it's hard to walk and I can't even move. But it was a struggle to make it from the bathroom here to the bed. Just a few steps from the bathroom to the bed. And they nearly succeeded at forcing urinating me between last night and this morning a few times, or a couple of times. But yeah, my legs, they still are sore. They still hurt. It seems like the swelling, I'm surprised the swelling went down some, but they still hurt. My legs still hurt. But I have not drank anything since breakfast yesterday. I had not drunk any fluids since, in over 24 hours. That's not like me. That I haven't drunk any fluids in over 24 hours. And the last time I ate was, cookies, a banana, and that little mac and cheese with the coconut oil for lunch. But, I didn't have any dinner. And I usually drink with my meals, but I didn't have anything to drink. Not even water. So, my legs hurt too bad to go out anywhere. And it's 12:06, so if I had a car, I can get and go now. But with the buses, it would take a couple of hours. So the place, it closes at 1 o'clock. But, I woke up finally at almost 11. So, I would have been too late getting there anyway. And, I would have been too late getting there anyway. But, Yeah, it takes on average about between 2 and 2.5 hours to get someplace from certain places here in Cincinnati. And the buses, they run frequently, somewhat frequently, but not like Los Angeles, you know. New Orleans used to, like back in 2003, you had to, on a Saturday, you had to wait 3 hours for a bus. You never knew when it was coming. And that was frustrating. But New Orleans used to have more buses that run with more frequency before Hurricane Katrina. But then afterwards, I mean, they used to run more frequently, but now they don't run so, you know, they be running like every 30 minutes or so. But certain routes run all night in New Orleans. But in Pensacola, Florida, and Greenville, South Carolina, and Denton, Texas, those are three places where the buses do not run at, I mean, all night. They might run from like 5 a.m. until 7 p.m. and then stop. But in Greenville, I mean, I'm sorry, Denton, Texas, the university buses would run on like till 2 o'clock in the morning. In Denton, Texas, I used to feel safe enough. It was right by the campus. I used to live walking distance from the college campus. So I didn't feel unsafe walking home at 2 o'clock in the morning from the university library. And I wasn't homeless at that time. But they used to have a lot of homeless people go there and use the library computers and everything. Um, and I felt bad because one time they had a homeless man who was hungry and hadn't eaten in days. And I felt bad that all I had was cookies and sweets and junk food to give him. That happened more than once with a few people. And I was pretty poor and homeless. I mean, I'm sorry, not homeless at the time. I meant to say I was pretty poor and broke myself. And I went all those years in agony, living in poverty and just living strictly. I mean, other than student loans and the family taking advantage of it, all my money and whatever. If it weren't for that, I had to go numerous years of my adulthood life strictly on nothing but the SSI and Social Security and food stamps. And I never in my life got Section 8 until living in Los Angeles and with the fake mental health program. Oh, and they wanted to stress being compliant with mental health. When I was homeless in Los Angeles, and they wanted to stress that I should be compliant, like I'm a slave or something like that. Even other black people talking about, oh, that's good you're being compliant. Like, motherfucker, well, why don't you comply? But if I say I don't need medication or, I'm not mentally ill, then y'all want to say I'm crazy and schizophrenic. And they say, oh, only a schizophrenic will say that they don't need medication. Well, why aren't you schizophrenic if you say you don't need it, if you think you're normal? And so and it's like all it is, like in the mental health system, they get paid to perp and gaslight and provoke and trigger you to anger, and they're not healing at all. They're not healing. You're in a mental hospital. If they're supposed to be healing, why do the staff and other residents in the mental hospital, they all huddle together and gang up on you and trigger and provoke you to lose your temper on purpose so that they can set you up to be forced to stay there longer? And then they put you on more medication. And then they want to say, oh, you need to be, stabilized. Stay here until you're stabilized. But then they treat you like you're so, like, if you treat me like you hate me so much, and you're disgusted and sick of me, Why are you trying to keep me here for as long as possible if you hate me so much? And I never did you anything. And it's mainly the abusive, narcissistic, fake staff in a mental hospital. You know, I'm so glad those days are over. I'm so glad the fake IDMR cult days are over. Tomorrow is Sunday, so they would have the fake IDMR cult to go to. I'm glad I'm not going. I'm glad I don't go. And then the cult never did shit for me either. I mean, you think Cheryl Sonier from the fake IDMR cult, New Orleans West Bank branch, you think she ever did anything to help me? She didn't give a fuck about me. And that's the damn dean. I don't know about nowadays, but she was the dean of the New Orleans West Bank branch of the fake IDMR cult. You think Aaron Bryant on the East? I heard that man is a Freemason. That Aaron Bryant dude from the New Orleans East Bank branch of the fake IDMR cult. So my twin sister even said like it was no big deal that they had a whole bunch of Freemasons in the fake IDMR cult. Well, that's another reason to leave. So I'm wondering how in that cult is everybody else can function normal in society, hold down jobs and everything. You know, if they can have cars, houses, and hold down a job and everything, but the cult damaged me. The cult damaged me. So, you know, but as I said, I don't know, that lady from Shreveport, she had a daughter that betrayed her for the cult, and the daughter's boyfriend or husband got her into the cult. And then the lady was trying to warn her daughter against the cult, and then the daughter had her being gang stalked, and they were throwing trash in her yard and doing stuff to her. And the lady was talking about getting me to come up to Shreveport. This was before I found out for sure about me being targeted. I knew about being targeted, but I didn't have my final confirmation until 2019. But I was still living in Greenville, South Carolina, and a lady wanted to get me to come all the way to Shreveport and write a book exposing the fake IDMR cult. But then some years, me and her chatted and talked. And then when I told her about gang stalking, she went AWOL on me. And I'm like, but you're going through this too. But you, I mean, if you're being gang stalked, like they used to throw trash in my yard when I was living in Los Angeles, vandalize the property that I rented. And as I said, I didn't realize people were entering my place to live. Either that or did they have directed energy weapons to supernaturally open your doggone cabinets and stuff? It's like, it was weird because if I would go to sleep at night and then wake up with all the damn cabinets open and stuff like that. A couple of times living in Los Angeles, I got food poisoning. And I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die. And I believe that I even suffered, Morgellons and stuff like that in 2012. And I saw the fibers coming out of me and stuff like that. And when I went to the emergency room, they were rude to me and try to fake diagnose me with all these mental disorders. Like, come on, it's an emergency room. And I mean, for me to show you about the Morgellons, but I haven't had a Morgellons problem in a long time. But yeah, that was weird. it wasn't bed bugs that time, but it was, Morgellons and the fibers and everything. And in 2012, that Morgellons disease is a lot of the times connected with targeted individuals. And so they say you should continue to detox the nanotechnology and everything. And they had chemtrails really bad. That might be why everybody in Los Angeles is so fake and irritable and moody and got a bad attitude and they're narcissistic. Excuse me. Might be the chemtrails. And then they'll get mad and say, "You're the problem." So, excuse me for all this congestion and everything. Yeah. So, because of the refrigerator situation, I have to go out and get me something to eat. I have to go out and about and get me something to eat, and I can't even save leftovers. I can't even save leftovers. So, yeah, I mean, my legs, after falling asleep, my legs, they feel a little bit better, but they still hurt, and it's still a lot of fluid. In the middle of the night, I was feeling like, at first I was feeling so tired and sleepy. Then I ended up feeling restless, and I think they must be hitting me with weapons. So it was 1:45 a.m. when I laid down and started to go to sleep, and the perp next door right here started beating and banging and tapping. So at different hotels, and it happened in Pensacola and it happened here, that they would do all that beating and banging and tapping as noise harassment to keep me awake. And it's like, wow, y'all strategically set, you gave me a room with blood and cum and all that. And so I got like 70 something views and a bunch of thumbs down for exposing and showing those videos. Like as if I committed a crime or was wrong for exposing the bad hotel rooms. So, I mean, by Monday, I don't even know if I'm going to try to go to a different hotel or not. If I'm going to try to go to a different hotel, I mean, because I know that they would get an attitude with me if I complain about this room. Or they might be like, "Well, why didn't you say anything?" I was freaking tired, and y'all knew what y'all were doing. Y'all, I don't need to tell y'all because y'all know what y'all were doing. But yeah, if you complain about a hotel room, they'll give you another bad room. Like y'all need y'all asses whipped. Y'all like why? Who the hell left a room with the refrigerator like that? Where the refrigerator is blocking the microwave, and I can't access either the refrigerator or the microwave. So I showed physical proof about that and got all these thumbs down. For what? So now I have to go out, and even though it's just round the corner, a whole bunch of food places, and they got a food place right next door, food places galore. But I mean, they kind of, a little expensive. But gone are the days where you can get a filling meal from McDonald's for $3. Now you got to spend like at least 20 in order to get full. And then you be hungry, weak, and shaky 30 minutes later. That ain't healthy. That ain't good. But if there's a place where you can eat where they have vegetable wraps, and you can load it with even some fruit and some vegetables, and all you can eat is half the wrap, and you be satiated for hours. if you be satiated for hours and can only eat half the wrap. And it'll cost the same price as McDonald's or Wendy's nowadays. And if something ain't right, you know, if you eat, come on, man. That's a weaponized car. I think that same perp car from last night. So, I think all these multiple bathroom trips is probably the fluid being released from my legs. And then the urine is still clear, you know. But I got to get hydrated. I got to get hydrated, at least hydrated. And I got to eat something. Oh, man. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't get how, I'm sitting here thinking, I don't get how the fake IDMR cult members can be functional and normal in society. Well, I gotta be the dysfunctional, mentally off, slow retard. It's like people make I didn't have a choice as a child. The foster mom used to punish and force us against our will to go to the fake IDMR thingy. And I even as a teenager, I used to try to fight and resist it. And I would get severe, harsh punishment if I refused to go on to the fake meetings or whatever. And sometimes she would back off and just let us stay home until after me and my twin sister had an all-out fist fight or something, and then she would force us to start going back again as a punishment. You know, if we might have a fight over the TV or something. But I hate what we went through as kids, and it seems like as if we can't even mend our relationship as twins. That they got my twin sister that brainwashed to think she's better than me and something is wrong with me. You know, but she was a psych patient too, and I think she still see a psychiatrist and take medicine, and yet saying that something is wrong with me. And I'm crazy, like she's the normal one. But I wish that she would deprogram from her opinion about me or the way she thinks about me, and the rest of the family too. But they are stubborn, and I don't know, is stiff neck? I mean, being stiff necked the right word? Excuse me. But yeah. So yeah, I think if I eat certain foods, that might make me weak and shaky and stuff, or feel weak, feel like I'm about to pass out or faint, and then be extra hungry, 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 and that's why I can't really eat McDonald's and Burger King and Popeyes and all that. You know, Chick-fil-A is always been too expensive. It has bad MSG in the a lot of the MSG in the Chick-fil-A It tastes good, but it's bad. It's not healthy, and it costs too much. I can't afford Chick-fil-A. But I used to be crazy over Chick-fil-A, but I felt turned off when I found out that it's the illusion of tasting really good with that MSG poison. And then I heard that the chicken nuggets, I mean, or no, yeah, that it's like I can't eat, you know, I can't even eat Taco Bell because if I eat Taco Bell, um, same thing. I'll be hungry within a short period of time. But if I eat authentic Mexican tacos, I'll be satiated for at least 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours. Um, if I have three Mexican tacos and some beans and rice, for dinner, then I can be held over and satiated and no bother for the rest of the night. And then tomorrow, fine, breakfast. But if I eat a healthy bowl of oatmeal, it keep me satiated. But eating like if I eat like Captain Crunch, I would need to eat 2 bowls in order to get full. So I didn't realize, that I was eating incorrectly, eating wrong. And I would have to deal with narcissistic abusers calling me fat and greedy. And then I was on those psychiatric medications that make you more hungry. So, if I'm a grown adult, I'm spending my own money. So it ain't your business if I eat 3 hamburgers from Wendy's. If I eat 3 Wendy's cheeseburgers. I mean, that's how it used to be. But if I eat a local burger from, say, for example, if I eat a local burger from a local restaurant, I could be satiated for hours. I mean, even if it's a burger and a small amount of fries, I'll be satiated like normal. But and I would get full, But if I eat, if I eat Subway, I end up. I would eat like I would eat the foot long Subway, and then it would set the stage where I get no sleep at night. But I can eat at Jimmy John's and Jersey Mike's and have like a half a sub and be fine. I don't even get that big. How do you pronounce it? Is it gargantuan or gargantuan? I never heard it pronounced, so excuse me. So that big old gargantuan, or whatever, GARGANTUAN, that big sandwich at Jimmy John's, I couldn't eat that. I could if I can have just like a tuna slim and a bag of chips on the side and be fine, But Subway, I would need that big sub. I would eat the 6-inch and still be hungry. 6-inch plus chips and cookies and still be hungry. But it would take for me to eat the foot long in order to feel satiated. I could have a foot long tuna. Excuse me, I would end up, having a foot long tuna. My favorites from Subway would be the tuna. And I find out people say that's fake. So I quit eating Subway. I don't eat Subway that much anymore either. I used to love the tuna sub and the meatball sub and the Black Forest ham. Those were my three favorites from Subway, but I don't really eat Jersey Mike's that much. But I think I like Jersey Mike's better than Jimmy John's. I used to think that Jersey Mike's and Jimmy John's always flavorless and nasty, but you gotta put that oil and vinegar in order for it to taste really good. Like the oil and vinegar and oregano and salt and pepper and all to make the sandwich taste really good. Like it'd be olive oil and red wine vinegar and salt and pepper and oregano for it to taste good. But yeah, I don't remember when the last time I had Subway. I think the last time I remember having Subway was in my hometown, New Orleans, at the Greyhound station when I left from Patricia. But other than that, I think that's the last time I recall having Subway. But I don't get around to eat Jersey Mike's that much. But Jimmy John's more frequently. But they would perp the shit out of me and be rude to me every time I go to Jimmy John's. In the same way that they would be rude and perp me every time I would go to McDonald's, and I didn't know what was going on back then. But in Greenville, South Carolina, they used to always kick me out of their McDonald's. They used to kick me out for being just for being homeless. I was a customer and trying to go eat there, and I'm like, what's wrong? So I look obvious homeless, and so they refused me service. And then, like 2015, 16, 17, eating McDonald's would make me sick. I can't eat there no more. I'm going to say it again. Human meat in McDonald's and Burger King and all that. Some people say that Wendy's doesn't have that, but I'll stay away from Wendy's too. And Taco Bell and all that. And I heard about that adrenochrome that make you crazy hungry, that would make you kill for food. That's why people were fighting each other and killing each other over that witchcraft spell of the freaking those Popeye sandwiches. About 3 years ago, people were fighting and killing each other over those sandwiches at Popeyes, and that was another mind control experiment with food. And they say you control the food, control the people. So I wish that I could get to be a homesteader prepper that was skilled in canning and preserving. I tried to take up some classes in Los Angeles. They perked me out of there and wouldn't help. I tried to do the gardening, but in Los Angeles was pretty expensive. They say Los Angeles was expensive, but thankfully I had the Section 8, and I was able to find places I was able to either eat cheap or eat free, and they didn't give food stamps, so I didn't have to even worry about food stamps. All those food banks around there. But I felt bad that, a lot of food went to waste because they would give expired food. And I heard that, at the food banks, the volunteers would take all the fresh food for themselves and take as much as they want, and then give the regular, all the expired food they would give to us, and give us nothing but sodas and cake and everything. Sodas, cakes, and pies, and like bottles, 2-liter bottled sodas, cakes, and pies. But it's like, well, what's the point of going to this food bank if all you giving out is like pastries and desserts and sodas and everything? We need fruit, vegetable, meat, and cereal and stuff, you know, or milk. But yeah, they give you spoiled food, not just expired, but spoiled. If they'll give you a box of cereal that's been expired for 4 years, that, you know, and you don't even be homeless, but you be poor, and you open it up and it's stale, like a stale box of Triscuit. But oh, if you go to the grocery store and get fresh Triscuit or wheat thins, oh, it can taste pretty good. But that stale stuff that you get from the food bank, no. You know, so I mean, I think if I would have continued eating at McDonald's and being on those psych medications, I'd probably be dead by now. And my right hand is starting. I'm holding the phone with my right hand, and my right hand is starting to be weak and shaky now. But Starbucks is so expensive. Starbucks is so expensive, you know. Wait. So, I'm gonna talk to y'all later. I gotta use the bathroom, and I want to work on some writing today. So I'll see y'all.